So any government must make decisions that weigh up the benefits of the measures that they introduce against the harms that they cause. You would agree with that, right?
100%.
And previously, the UK had an influenza pandemic preparedness strategy dated in 2011. It was meant to be used for coronaviruses as well. And that intended that the public be able to continue their normal lives without border closures, without the end of mass gatherings, without work from home orders, without school closures. So do you accept that there were detailed plans in place for the UK that would have preserved normality and proportionality during a pandemic?
Well, those plans were written for a different disease. And so
they were written for coronaviruses.
They were written based on influenza. And the preparations had been based on the threat of a pandemic flu. And those preparations, some parts of them were incredibly important and incredibly helpful, like putting through some of the legal changes that were needed, that were ready and drafted. But you're right in the starting point of your question, which is you have to balance in any government decision, but especially in these really big ones, these huge weights on either side.
Yes, so fundamentally, you abandoned that plan. That is fair to say. So given the huge risks involved with abandoning a plan like that, which had been thought through for a long time, why was the decision made to never do a comprehensive cost-benefit analysis or impact assessment of non-pharmaceutical interventions, including lockdown? Or were they done and we just weren't told about them?
So the plans that we had, the preparation was based on pandemic flu. That's what the exercises have been done on. And obviously at the time, we then had to make decisions according to the situation as we found it. A new coronavirus, which was unprecedented. And the hard part, of course, was that we were in this fog of uncertainty in terms of the lack of data.
To begin with, yes.
Yeah.
But there was never a full cost-benefit analysis done at any point, was there?
Well, there was as much of an assessment as you can make in the incredibly short amount of time. And the challenge that we had was that the forecasts of increased cases and increased deaths, the problem wasn't the forecast. The problem was that the forecasts were coming true. And that was the fundamental challenge. So you have to look at the costs, not just the costs, the economic costs in terms of mental health, the costs in terms of people not being able to access other types of treatment, and the costs of inaction. And we could see that the costs of inaction were going to be absolutely enormous.